I'm having some tech issues this morning, so you'll forgive me for having to hold my camera up like this. Uh, well, other videos will have a bit better production value than this, but I do emphasize a bit. Like this is not that much lower than what I'll normally do. But anyway, get a nice view of a park with a lovely tree. Uh, so I went to the gym this morning, and it was a class. It was one of the tougher classes. That's not me flexing. That's just you look at me. I'm not the sort. I don't look like the sort of person who goes to the gym. So I'm not going to brag about that. Um, but during the one thing I will brag about is like 3/4 of the way through the class, I started to feel queasy. Like I started to feel like really like gross in the stomach, and to the point where it felt like I was just gonna chunder all over myself, just let loose with whatever my stomach had in it. No, I apologize for the subject matter, but it's relevant. Now I don't know why I was feeling this off. The gym was a bit stuffy, and I do appreciate like fresh, cool air. Maybe it's something that I ate yesterday. Maybe I'm coming down with something. Who knows? But I've talked about uh, operational Christianity being the intersection of a few things. One of them being Christianity, and the other being psychology, and not just like academic psychology, not just like the theoretical stuff. Uh, you go to academic conferences about the mind, and you hear a lot of interesting theories, not a lot of like reasonable data to back it up. I'm really interested in the practical uses. Like if you can understand your mind, that should change the way that you live, that you operate, that your mind operates. Because otherwise, what's the point? What are you doing? And very little thing, but boy, is it useful. So I'm in the gym class, and I'm just feeling this unpleasantness, and I made it go away. From the outside, I was probably looking pretty pretty gross, and then I did that while I was exercising. So it's not like I had to take time out to meditate or do mindfulness or anything, or had to do any sort of like funky ritual or anything. No, it's just as I'm doing the workout, I just basically give myself like this anti-nausea treatment, not as a drug, but just as like a psychological intervention. It's far from the biggest thing I've done with my skills this week, but it's useful. It's incredibly useful. If you don't have that, and suddenly you start feeling a bit off, a bit like physically unwell, then what do? Like you're stuck. So it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it is if you can't do that and you need to. And that got me thinking about freedom, because I know a lot of young men throughout history, especially today, there's this really strong emphasis on freedom, and I think it's a fantastic thing. The ability to live your life on your terms it's an extraordinary thing. It's something that more of us should aspire to. But I see a lot of, let's just call them ambitious young men who are so focused on, you know, crushing goals at the gym, and they're doing amazing at work, whether they work for someone else, whether they're building their own business. They're building their skills, they're getting the girl, they're just ticking all of the boxes. And someone like that can rebel against God. And they rebel because what God requires of you is submission. You need to surrender. You need to replace your desires with His desires. And there's this conflict there. There's this tension there, and I get it. So if you're someone who emphasizes being able to live life on your terms, like every day you do exactly the things that you want and nothing else, you're not beholden to anyone else. Yeah, I can see how someone like that is going to struggle with the idea of an all-powerful creator and that your duty is to surrender yourself to them. It's a big ask. It's a tall order. Except, and there's just, it's one of these beautiful, seeming paradoxes, because it's not a paradox. It makes perfect logical sense, but the first time you hear it, it can be a bit paradoxical. And that if you want more freedom, you surrender to God. The funny thing is, that's not a controversial take when you change the context a little bit. It's like, okay, so you want more sort of physical freedom. You want to be able to use your body however you want to use your body. Cool. You're going to want to go to the gym often. You're going to want to play a team sport. You're going to want to stretch. You're going to want to eat right. Oh, all of that stuff sounds a lot like discipline, though. And isn't discipline the opposite of freedom? Isn't discipline consistently showing up even when you don't want to? Whereas freedom is this ability to do whatever you want whenever you want. And this applies like across domains. Like if you're like, hey, tomorrow I want to just travel to Tasmania and spend a week sampling whiskey and wine and seafood. You're gonna need the finances to do that. Like anything at all. Like there are no limitations on it. What would you do? Would you sit on a beach and sip cocktails? Sure. Would you climb like a really tall mountain just so that you could brag about it later that you did? Sure. Cool. If that's what brings you a sense of fulfillment, a sense of fullness, a sense that like you're perfectly grounded in the moment and just everything feels okay. If that's what sparks joy, then sure, fill your boots. And there comes a point, and this is a real mark of maturity, where what you want to do, genuinely what you want to do if you could do anything, is just serve people. There are people out there who need your help. And they could be like, your children need you. They absolutely need you. It could be strangers. It could be a certain class of person. It could be the clients that your business serves. Like, there comes a point where really what you want to do is to serve people. Of course. What else is there? The whole sipping cocktails on a beach thing and being able to brag that you've climbed a mountain, those are cool. Like, better to do those than to not do those, but they get old really fast. They can't be like your goal. They can't be your destination because that's so hollow. Helping people is what really matters. So yeah, the freedom to help people, coming from the discipline to do what you need to do in order to be that sort of person. This really stood out to me while I was thinking about 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, starting at the 15th verse. And if you'll read along with me, that would be wonderful. For though I am free with respect to all, I have made myself a slave to all, that I might win more of them. To the Jews I became as a Jew in order to win Jews. To those under the law I became as one under the law, though I myself am not under the law, so that I might win those under the law. To those outside the law I became as one outside the law, though I am not free from God's law, but am under Christ's law, so that I might win those outside the law. To the weak I became weak, so that I might win the weak. I have become all things to all people, that I might by all means save some. I do it all for the sake of the gospel, so that I may share in its blessings. That is freedom. That right there is freedom. The ability to become anything that you need to become in order to help anyone you want to help. That is what freedom is. Nothing else comes close. The ability to live life on your own terms, to set your own schedule, that only matters if you're able to become what you need to become in order to help who you need to help. This is important. Please understand that the way that you get to this, the way that you help people, the way that you free yourself is through discipline and through surrendering to God, because that is how you become the sort of person who has the mobility, the flexibility to do what you need to do and become who you need to become. This is the secret sauce. This is the key to freedom. Figure out who you want to help. Figure out who you need to become in order to help them, and then do it. This is it. This is all that there is. And this is like the truest freedom you will ever experience. Until you feel that, you won't really understand. You'll think that being able to swan off and do whatever, then you'll have true freedom. But no, it's just like someone who's like in the moment queasy. All you can do is feel queasy. And like that really constrains you. But if you have the flexibility, like I could have continued to be queasy if I wanted. If that served me, maybe I'm preaching to the queasy. That would have been really useful in that moment. But because I've put the work in, because I'm disciplined and I've trained myself, I'm able to adjust that and much more besides. I'm able to alter the parameters of who I am and what I'm experiencing. That is freedom. And it only comes from following Jesus, following him the way he tells you to follow him. Like, it takes work, but it's so worth it. And what else are you doing? If you're building your business so that you'll have a bunch of money so you can drive the fast cars, by all means, drive the fast cars. Enjoy the fruits of your labor and appreciate God's gifts to you. Cool. But if you want real freedom and you're thinking about just maximizing what you can do in every moment, you'll only get there through surrendering and through following. It's the only way. So find someone you want to serve, figure out how to serve them, become that person, and then just get to it. Peace be with you.